Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. I'm really sorry I'm late. The reason I'm late, I've been following up a story about Wijnaldum, and I wanted to get some more information about the Julian Brandit story. So that's the reason as why I'm late. I wanted to cross-check my facts, but it seems that I'm here now. We can talk about a couple of stories, especially those that concern Arsenal transfer news. Smash the like button, get your subscriptions in. Do me one favor, the comments are very, very much appreciated, and everybody who smashes the like button gets a reward. So please do remember that when we target 20k subscribers, when we reach 20k subscribers, one person like this, one loyal fan, will be able to get $100. That is at 20k. So make sure you smash the like button, you comment, as well as you do subscribe, just like you guys have been doing. It's really, really massive. I have a couple of stories on my desk that we are really going to discuss. Transfer news, basically, Isco talks have been opened up according to the Telegraph. We are going to be discussing those stories. Pedro Neto is an Arsenal fan. He said he would like to play for Arsenal. One day he wanted to play for Arsenal. He was attracted by the kind of football we played under Arsene Wenger. I mean, things like that. Those are, it looks like a fairy dream. Wijnaldum, another big story, though. Liverpool still have the bigger chances to retain him, but they are stories suggesting that Arsenal could actually go for Wijnaldum. I'm going to share my thoughts about that. Buendia talks are said Arsenal is willing to offer around 18 to 20 million. The last time I remember his market value was around 30 million. Now, for us, we are going with 18 to 20. I'm going to be discussing that as well. The Balogun update, Sokratis contract being cancelled, and then Brandit fee being agreed. So let us start right away, my people. Thanks, everybody, for smashing the like button. It really means a lot, and I do appreciate. So please do smash the like button if you have not already. 200 likes, that's the target. Let's get down into it. So I'll start with the Isco story, because that's where no, not the Isco story, the Julian Brandit, because that is what is in the headline, so that it doesn't look like a scam, spam, or a clickbait. Now today, a couple of stories and sources from Germany suggest that Arsenal could be very, very, very close to agreeing a deal between them and Borussia Dortmund for 22-year-old midfielder. I wanted to call him a wonder kid, but I don't think he's a wonder kid anymore. I believe I saw him as a wonder kid at Leverkusen almost 2 years ago. Right now, I don't look at Julian Brandit as a wonder kid, but I still believe in him. I still believe he's one of the best midfielders there in Germany. He has a big future. He's a young player. So the price agreed could be in the region of 20 to 30 million. That is according to reports. Now, again, this is not a story I want to believe 100%. Yeah, it's not a story I want to believe 100%. Maybe if Christian Falk or Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein had written something about that, I would be like, okay. But since it is none of those people, I do not really want to believe the story so seriously. But again, if you look at the two players that we have been linked with heavily in the recent weeks for the January transfer window, it has been Julian Brandit. Yeah, it has been Julian Brandit and Buendia. So make no mistake, if I come here and say that Arsenal is about to agree the price of Julian Brandit, it would be a very big story. It would be a very big story, a very big addition to Arsenal. He's a bowler. That's what I know. He's a bowler, but he's not having the best of seasons. At Borussia Dortmund, he has only 2 assists in 22 appearances, 1 goal. So it doesn't look like he's having the best of times. But Mikel Arteta thinks he's that kind of player he would need. My opinion is, if we are going for Julian Brandit, well and good, but we need to go for someone else. Julian Brandit can play for you like an Emile Smith Rowe, although his work rate is not like that of Emile Smith Rowe. I think Emile Smith Rowe has an added advantage over Julian Brandit. He has a work rate. Yeah. He has a work rate. He has a fighting spirit, not like that of Julian Brandit. So at least I've not seen that in him, but he's a really, really talented kid. And 20 million, 30 million, I think that's the region. That is the fee. It's not too high and it's not too low, because if anyone is out there and they want to sign this guy, 22 years of age, a big future lies ahead of him. If it doesn't work out, you can still sell, Julian Brandit at around 15 million or even 20 million to another club. So I think, it would be a good deal, but can it happen in January transfer window? There is a condition, and this is Arsenal must move on players. Actually, whoever player we bring in, we must move on a player. Now, that means Arsenal might not actually bring in so many players in that January transfer window like most of us want, or like most of us expect to, expect the club to do. Because the fact is, Sokratis could actually leave. And I'm going to be talking about Sokratis in a minute. But if you want 3 players, we have to move on 3 players. And you don't think Arsenal is going to move on 3 players, yeah? Okay, we had hoped Balogun would leave. Not hoped, but there were reports that Balogun would leave. Now, his agent says the player wants to stay, yeah? So the player has told his agent he wants to stay. He wants to get some, get minutes until the end of the season. If he can't fight for his, place in the starting lineup, then he will be very, very glad to leave. Yeah. So that means Balogun is staying, Ozil is staying, Mustafi is staying, and a couple of other players are staying. So it goes down again to the question: Can Arsenal actually, get in 3 players, or can we move on 3 players? Because it depends. To bring in, we have to, to move on. And there are not so many players we're going to move on in this January transfer window. So let us see how things will be manning up against in between Arsenal, Dortmund, and Julian Brandit. I'll be here to discuss all the developments of this story. Like I said, it is not a confirmed story. I didn't add the word confirmed because it isn't a confirmed story. And that's why in the thumbnail, you see that big question mark. But before that, before we discuss any more Julian Brandit, let us talk about Isco, because it looks like Arsenal have opened talks for Isco. It's gonna be a loan deal. That is, I told you that in the morning, didn't I? Unless if you guys didn't watch the story. So the Telegraph are reporting that Arsenal are actually interested in signing Isco. They have made their official offer to Real Madrid. Now, it's, of course, it remains Real Madrid whether they will want to give us the player on loan. That's the first place. And what are the terms and conditions of the loan? Probably, I think they will say, you take him, you buy him. Probably that's what I think, Real Madrid, will want. The players already told Real Madrid, I want to go. I'm not happy here. It seems like his career at Real Madrid ended around 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Okay. So Arsenal is a perfect fit for Isco. The question is Isco a perfect fit for Arsenal? So the Telegraph are saying that we have made our offer official. No more doubts, no more hiding. We want the player, and it is up to Real Madrid to either grant us our wish or we look somewhere else. Isco would be very open to joining us. Of course, whether it's on a loan deal or not, because he's going to get some game time. But there were also stories that Isco could actually go for a move to Sevilla, which I disregarded, as you know, in my first story. I disregarded that story. I said, look, there's no way Real Madrid are looking at giving Isco to Sevilla. I mean, that is the kind of player Sevilla want. That is the kind of players Sevilla use. So you're giving them an atomic bomb. You're giving them a weapon of mass destruction, and there's no way Real Madrid are gonna make that mistake. So make no mistake, I don't think he'll be moving to club itself, Sevilla. If we are going to look at Isco moving, it might be down to Arsenal and on a loan deal for 6 months with an option to buy, which I think we might trigger as Arsenal. I don't know, but it looks like Real Madrid would want around 20 to 25 million. We shall see about that. But the Telegraph say we have made our official offer for the player, and I hope we can actually go in for him. Someone is asking about Buendia. All right, let's talk about Buendia, because after making our official offer to Isco, it is also reported that we are about to make the same offer for Buendia. However, the difference is that for Buendia, we don't want to take him on a loan deal. We want to take him on what should I call it? On a permanent deal. And we are going to propose a deal around 18 million to 20 million. And my question is this guy, is Norwich really going to listen to 18 to 20 million? Probably yes, probably no. Do they lose anything by selling him? I think they do. They have very, very high hopes of staying in the rest to come back to the Premier League if they stay with him, if they stay with their best talents, Max Aarons, Buendia, and a couple of other players, down there at Norwich City. But can they refuse an offer from Arsenal, a decent one? I don't think they will refuse it. And the player also wouldn't refuse an offer from Arsenal. So probably we need to just get our business moving. It is only 2 days away from the transfer window. Arsenal need to start doing business as early as possible. You know that in January we have already ended our calendar year in 2020, and things never went on very well. We need to start January on a very, very high alert. Do the transfers in time. 1 week, 2 weeks, you're out of the transfer window, and then of course look at other things like winning games and other things like that. But of course, I've already said that Buendia would be a nice addition. Yeah, would be a very, very nice addition to Arsenal. There isn't anything I haven't said about Buendia. So 20 million. Let's hope Norwich will listen, because if they listen and they can sell, then we are on the right side of the coin. And look, for me, it would be perfect. It would be really perfect to bring in Buendia and Julian Brandit. The problem I have with both of them, they look like kind of similar players. Buendia, Julian Brandit. None of them is the kind of Juan Jordan player, the kind of House Samoa player. Most of them, both of them actually look like they want to be preoccupied. They would rather be preoccupied in that number 10 role than driving that ball forward, making forward runs. But I think Mikel Arteta knows better why he would want to get Isco, Brandit, and Buendia, or probably two of them or one of them. So it will it will depend on the manager. How does he want to use Isco? How does he want to use Buendia? And how does he want to use Julian Brandit? Okay, now let's move on to big man Sokratis Papastathopoulos, who looks set to cancel his contract to join Fenerbahce. This should have been done last summer, but the way we do our business, I don't know what Edu was thinking. Was he busy with the House Samoa deal? Was he busy with the Thomas Partey deal? What was he doing? I can't really answer that, but this is a deal we should, this is something we should have done in the summer. Cancel Sokratis, Papastathopoulos' contract, because look, we knew he was never going to play for Arsenal this season. That is one. And Napoli wanted him. Of course, I do understand Napoli wanted him on one condition: if Kalidou Koulibaly moved to Chelsea, Manchester United, or Manchester City, because they were the top contenders. Of course, even Tottenham Hotspur. But right now, Sokratis is useless. Now, I don't mean to insult him, but he is useless at Arsenal. He's just taking wages for nothing. The same goes to Shkodran Mustafi. The same goes to Mesut Ozil. If we could find out a way of cancelling these people's contracts, it would have been something very good. So Sokratis, there are reports that he's going to be joining Fenerbahce in January after cancelling his contract with Arsenal. A couple of other players have contracts running down in the summer, including Mesut Ozil, including Shkodran Mustafi. So probably those players will be moving from Arsenal in the summer, not actually in January. I would say, good luck, Sokratis. I don't think we are going to miss Sokratis Papastathopoulos, unless there is someone who tells me they're a big fan of Sokratis. But apart from that, I don't think we are really going to miss him that much. Yeah, I don't think we are going to really miss him that much there. So the last story is about Georginio Wijnaldum. Yeah, the last story about Georginio Wijnaldum, a free agent in the summer, but still tied down to a contract at Liverpool until June 2021. There are reports that Arsenal are interested. and they reports that the player is playing hard to get with Liverpool. Now, the beauty with such deals when you're a player is are quite easy. You're going to get a sign-on fee and you're going to get decent wages because you're coming on a free deal. Yeah. The nightmare behind these deals as a team, as a club, is that Arsenal has suffered these kind of nightmares long enough. The Stefan Lichtsteiner, the Sid Kolasinac, the non-squadron stuff. He wasn't free deal. The Willian, yeah. So it looks like it would be a good deal for Arsenal to bring in Gigi Wijnaldum because he is a player that you're very sure he's going to add something to that midfield, especially if you partner him with Thomas Partey. His ability to pass that ball forward, his ability to create some chances, his ability to link up play, his ability, to dictate the tempo of the game is highly needed at Arsenal. But he is 30. Yeah, he is 30. Make no mistake. He is not finished. Yeah, he's not finished. He's one of those players that I still crave for. I still ask myself, why didn't we even go for him and Moussa Sissoko when they were still at Newcastle? We had the chance. Yeah, we had the chance in that summer. We had the chance. If we had only signed Gigi Wijnaldum or Jorginho Wijnaldum or Sissoko, it would have been perfect. Yeah, but we were unlucky. Man comes from Netherlands, and I think I'm in love with him. But it's a risky deal for us. Now, after seeing what happened to us with Willian, I cannot really recommend my team to go out there and sign Jorginho Wijnaldum. It's a risky deal. Unless you tell me it's going to settle for 2 years at 30 years of age, which I don't think so. So probably he's going to think about it. If Arsenal can give him a 3-year deal, 4-year deal, it's gonna be at the Emirates Stadium without any fine. But if we cannot give him that that deal, then it's gonna stay at Liverpool. Tell me, would you want to see Gigi Wijnaldum Arsenal? Would you want to see Isco, Buendia, Brandit? Who of all these people would you want to see at the mighty Emirates Stadium? Please make no mistake, subscribe and make your comments very, very known. I want to start. I apologize for coming late. I do apologize for coming late. I really, really do apologize for coming late, and I'll make sure I don't come late again. Yeah. Kosi, how are you doing? Thanks for giving us a bit of information. Yeah. I mean, stories are moving around each and everywhere. Make no mistake. Read my description. Read the description. All the stories that I've actually known. That I've actually come across today are in the description. Yeah, all the stories that I've come across today are in my description. So make no mistake, please click the description. Please do make sure you click the description. Yeah. After Diego Costa terminated his contract, I was thinking about talking about this story, but then I was like, no, I don't need to talk about Diego Costa because it looks like he's gonna be going out to Inter Milan, and I don't think Arsenal will go for Diego Costa. I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happen. But just to make sure that I'm on the same page with you, I want to talk about Yves Bissouma, that Brighton player that almost killed our midfield yesterday in this video. Yves Bissouma. Make no mistake, I'll do a video about him. Yeah, I'll do a video about him. But let us talk about Yves Bissouma for some time. Now, this guy moved to Brighton 2 years ago for 15 million. But he is an absolute baller. Yeah. Kevin Campo, as was speaking, and he said he's an ex-Arsenal player, and was saying, look, Arsenal need a player like Yves Bissouma. 24 years of age, he is an absolute baller from Mali. If we get Yves Bissouma and partner him with Thomas Partey, I want to believe that we have the best midfield partnership in the Premier League. I want to believe. Oh, we have the best midfield pivot in the Premier League. Yves Bissouma, Thomas Partey. What else do you want? Bissouma is an absolute baller. The tackles he takes, the dwells, the timing, the pace, the passing, the accuracy, the tenacity. That boy is supposed to be at a big club. And I'm going to be very disappointed if Arsenal leave him to go to Liverpool, because Liverpool is interested, according to TalkSport. It's going to be a shame if Yves Bissouma goes to Liverpool without a fight, just like Dominic Szoboszlai went to RB Leipzig without a fight. It's going to be a very, very big shame. Yeah. Look, we might be we might be interested in Joan Jordan. We might be interested in those kind of players. I do understand Arsenal interested in those players, maybe wanting to get a foreign player, foreign touch, something like that. But look, make no mistake, I think we have an opportunity to get one of the best midfielders, young midfielders in the world in Yves Bissouma. If Mikel Arteta wants a box-to-box, he can use Thomas Partey. Yeah, he can use Thomas Partey and play Yves Bissouma as the pivot, as the heart of the pivot, as the number 6. Then that means you only need one player who can play like Emile Smith-Rowe. That is either Julian Brandit, Isco, or Emiliano Buendia. The question is, how much would Bissouma cost from Brighton? I think he signed for 15 million. He has really added on his value. So I think we are talking about a fee in the region of 35 to 40 million. Yeah. And I think that would be a good deal. He's Premier League proven already. I think he's a fighter. Arsenal need that kind of person in the midfield. Yesterday, I was looking at Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka, and I was like, are you kidding me? Do we have these pathetic players at our club? And the answer is truly yes. We have a pathetic midfield. And the mistake we have always made as Arsenal fans is thinking that whenever we win, our players are doing so well. But yesterday, you saw it. We won. We had a very good midfield, midfield control in the second half. But Bissouma was exceptional. And Arsenal need that kind of player who is exceptional. And for me, I think we go for Yves Bissouma, we have gone for the right deal. Yeah. But I don't think Arsenal is still going to go for Yves Bissouma. It could be a very hard deal to do. Yeah. It could be a very, very, very hard deal to do. But Bissouma is that kind of player that Arsenal do need. Make no mistake. We do need Yves Bissouma. If we can sign him and another player in front of him. Because for me, I still think Arsenal, however much we think this January transfer window is going to bail us out and anything like that, Arsenal is not a club that's going to drastically change overnight. Like you bring in 2 players and we are title contenders. No. And we are top 4 contenders. No. We are, we need just to bring in 2 players just to make sure that we can secure our 7th or 8th place, then restructure in the summer. Yeah. So just imagine if we can bring in Yves Bissouma on a permanent deal and then around 30 million and then spend around 20 million on Emi Buendia. That is 60 million. That is a perfect summer. That's a perfect January transfer window. Yeah. That's a perfect January transfer window. But let's talk Julian Brandit, and let us just go into his deal a little bit deeper, because that is the focus of this story, and Isco, because those are the 2 players that I actually think are now closely linked with Arsenal. The Emi Buendia story, that one I still have doubts. Julian Brandit is 22 years of age. He's been at Bayer Leverkusen. He's been at Dortmund. By the time Dortmund signed him, he was one of the best young kids in German Bundesliga. And make no mistake, he's still highly rated and a very good player. So if we bring in Julian Brandit, how do we line up? Yeah. He is a kind of Santi Cazorla kind of player. Yeah. That kind of player. I hope you understand when I say kind of Santi Cazorla kind of player. So he's that kind of player, Santi Cazorla type, Mesut Ozil type. But I would say he's a Julian Draxler type. Yeah. a Julian Draxler type. Of course, we were linked with Julian Draxler, a couple of months ago. So does he work for us? Yes, he does. Yeah, but right now he is not in his on his best fit. So that means we have to wait for him, settle into the Premier League, find himself, find his form back, and all those things. But he's a young player. I told you that is the advantage. Yeah, that is the advantage he has. He's a young player, and many clubs are looking at him as one of those maybe next talents. Yeah, next talents. Agreeing his price for 20 million, I think it's quite a deal. Dortmund would want to bring in some money, because when you look at them in the summer, did they do any business? Did they sell any player in the summer? I still have questions about that. So they will need some money, especially in January. What I know about Dortmund, they can bring in players in January, but they rarely do business when it comes to selling their players out in January. But they will need some money. Around 20 million, yeah, about around 24 million. And that all these stories are in my description. Please do endeavor to read the description. You get me? Read the description. So we bring in Julian Brandit. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's a Julian Draxler kind of player. That means we need a player who can, play with Thomas Partey in the pivot. Yeah. And that is, for me, not Isco then. That is not Buendia. So for me, it looks like Isco, Brandit, and Buendia. Only one of them can join Arsenal. Only one of them. And who would it be? In my case, I would go for a loan deal for Isco. I don't know what you guys do think. I want you guys to call in and tell me what you think about the transfer speculation right now. Yeah, call in and tell me. I'm going to take one call per time. One call per time. As I go through the comments as well. So I'm taking one call per time, one caller per time. So make sure you make it brief and you be straight to the point. The link is in the comments section. There we go. Because Bissouma can't refuse Arsenal, we are just not serious. Look, I don't think can refuse Arsenal, but the situation is a little bit tricky, Christopher, because right now Brighton would not want to sell their best talent. You know that, yeah. Let's be a little bit more real. Brighton don't want to sell their best talent at this moment, yeah. They wouldn't want to sell their best talent. So again, it goes down to Arsenal. How serious are we, and how can we bully Brighton into selling? But I think it's a deal that can be done in the summer. In the summer, when Brighton are relegation threatened, probably, they'll think about it and sell him. But right now, I don't see it as a deal that is very, very, very possible. Dream signing for me is Zaniolo. Look, this big up squad, by the way. This guy Zaniolo has been linked with Arsenal for almost forever. Yeah, a couple of times. He's a very good player. I do understand, but I don't think right now he's on the radar. I don't think he's on the radar right now because there are no stories about Zaniolo anyway. So if you want to call in, the link is the link. That's the link. It's in the comment section. I'll share it one more time. Just want to hear from you guys. Please do call in. Please do call in and tell me what you think. Which player would you want to see Arsenal this January transfer window? Make no mistake, your comments are also very, very welcome. Showers of Christmas blessings for Arsenal team and manager. Keep it up. Don't lose hopes. Big up, my brother. Big up, Clement. The love is much appreciated. We have the first caller in already. Let me see what my brother has to say. Vic. Yes, Vic, how are you doing? Hello. His internet is a little bit disturbing, but please make no mistake, you can reconnect and talk to the Arsenal podcast, of course. Benjamin says Mikel Arteta, as young as he should have a philosophy of building young and talented midfielders for the darling club Arsenal. Much appreciated, much love. And I do agree with you, Benjamin. We actually need to go out there and start building talented midfielders. We can't depend on buying 100, 900, 700 million players. We just can't. So make sure you guys agree with Benjamin. I do agree, by the way, Benjamin. I do agree, Benjamin. Bissouma laughed at us last season and said he would never come no matter the wages. Lol. Big up, squad. Big up, big up, big up. Another caller in Philip. Here we go. Philip. How are you doing, Philip?
I'm doing it, man.
Yeah. Any reaction to today's transfer talk?
All the players that we're linked with, they're all players that would massively help us. Like Buendia, creative, Julian Brandt, creative, and Bissouma as well. With him and Partey in the midfield, we'll just make our midfield we'll just dominate every single midfield in the game. And these are the signings I think we need to make. If we're looking to become a better team and Arsenal are really serious about backing Arteta, then they should really be making these type of signings.
Yeah, I do agree. But what do you think about Julian Brandit? How do you rate Julian Brandit? Do you think he's that kind of player that Arsenal can rely on for this season or probably even for the future? He's just 22 years of age.
I haven't really seen that much of him, so I can't really judge. But from what I've been hearing, he's been a very good player. He highly rated. People saying up and coming star. So if it's true, then I've seen him play like some Champions League games, like stuff like that. But that's really it. So I can't really judge. But I think he'll be a good addition on what people are saying. Especially, but the main player I want to bring in is Bissouma. He's the main player. Like yesterday, he made Oneni and Xhaka look like little kids.
Yeah, I understand about Bissouma, but you must also understand that it's a deal that is not going to easily be done in January. You understand, right?
Yeah.
Probably one for the summer. So if you're looking at the possible realistic deals in January, that is Buendia, Isco's loan deal, probably Julian Brandit. Who do you go for? Who would be your priority in January among those players linked to us?
People probably hate me for this, but I would say to play it safe and get Isco on loan.
Get Isco on loan.
It doesn't cost that much. It's only a loan deal, and he has so much experience, like Champions League, big level experience. So yeah, I think he can help us a lot, but it depends if he's still got it because he is old. But
okay, thank you so much, Philip. Have HJ on. How are you doing, brother? Hello. Please do speak up.
Hello.
How are you doing, HJ?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. I do. I can't hear you very well. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. First and foremost, today, yeah. Please go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. You stop. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to get a reaction on Isco and Julian Brandit. Looks like they're topping the list. Now for the summer for the January targets. How would you rate those two?
I think they're both good business to do. It would help us transform our midfield. Isco, I'll take on a short-term loan. I wouldn't do a permanent deal because Isco's an older player. Would he be just one of those players that would, if he signed on a permanent deal, just enjoy the life in London, not care, take the big wages, like William's doing right now? It's kind of like what David Luiz is doing. So I wouldn't take him on a permanent, but I think for a 6-month loan, with our relationship with obviously Real Madrid, Dani Ceballos, we got on loan from them already. So we can add Isco to that loan, bring those both back in the end of the summer to Real Madrid, give them back. It would help our midfield. Isco, he's an experienced player, because if we do sign someone like Julian Brandt, he adds a bit of experience next to him, especially with Thomas Partey coming back in January. So that helps us transform our midfield. If we do have a Partey, maybe a Brandt, maybe an Isco, maybe that's too attacking, but we'll have to see how we can balance it. But I think those two would really help us. I'll bring both.
Are you hopeful that Arsenal will do more than one January transfer window? Are you hopeful? I mean, more.
I'm not sure.
More than one deal.
Will they even do one deal? I don't know. That's the thing, because if the board and if the owners are having doubts over Arteta, yes, these 2 wins would have helped. And if we win against West Brom, that's 3 wins in 3. Suddenly we back into a potential race for the top 6, top 4. But because it's so close, the league, there's like 5 teams on 26 points. So if we can get closer to that, yes, I know lots of teams have games in hand, but if you put together a run, if you're consistent, and we can be up there. It's not impossible. But I do think, will we do business? I said this before. I'm not too sure. There were reports coming out that Kroenke said that we have to sell players before we can buy, like get them off the wage book, because we have 3 players too many. We have Ozil, Saliba, Sokratis. All 3 I think could leave in this window. Saliba obviously could go out on loan. Ozil, Fenerbahce, and Juventus are linked. And the other one, some Turkish clubs are linked to him as well. So he could be out the door. And if we can get them out in January, then maybe we could look to get in a Diego Costa, which I really want. I sound popular. I want Diego Costa.
Look, before you even go any further, we are on different sides of the coin. I don't want Diego Costa. I'm looking at him as a very, very deadly, dangerous deal. He has become injury prone, and I don't think he still has that kind of ability he had 5 years ago. I don't think
he doesn't. I'm not saying he does, but he's not going to be a starting player for us. He'd be one of those players like Cavani is at Manchester United, one of those players that would come off the bench when we need something, because we put so many crosses into the box. We don't have that physical striker. We don't. What I would do is I'd get rid of Nketiah, get 10 odd million for him. That would cover the wages for Diego Costa for a year and a half. And I see that as good business, because then up front options, we now have a lot of competition. Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Costa, Balogun, if he's going to play. I think Balogun might leave. I think he will. Because I don't see Arteta promising him enough.
His agent saying,
I see Balogun as another Serge Gnabry.
Yeah, his agent says the player wants to stay and he's going to stay in January, but if only they don't give him game time until the summer, then there are no hopes for a new contract. Yeah, so it's not.
I think there is quite a bit of competition up there, especially with Lacazette playing so well. Aubameyang is obviously our big man up front, and Gabriel Martinelli coming back from injury, and Nketiah, someone like Arteta likes. So I think we'd have to get rid of. We'd have to have a bit of action up front, in terms of arrivals and departures for something to happen. But I would definitely take Diego Costa. I just think we need that personality and that physicality.
Yeah, the physicality, I do understand. The mentality, I do understand. If you tell me we need the qualities of Costa, I will understand. But if you tell me we need Costa as a person, I just do not decide. I just do not agree, brother. I just do not agree. I think he's a risky. You realize that he's a risky deal, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's
I think if we can, because we've put Willian on a 3-year deal, if we can possibly get him out the door, I'm not sure it's going to happen. It could, you never know, because a lot of rumours coming out that David Luiz, Willian, they wanted Arteta sacked. If Arteta knows about this, maybe Willian doesn't get back into the team and we ship him off in January and get a bit of money for him. If you sell Willian, maybe in Nketiah, you could have 20 million, 25 million in wages and transfer fee, and then you could sign a Costa, or you could look at other positions in the pitch, because Isco, it could be no loan fee and we just take on all his wages, so you're not costing, that doesn't cost that much. And then Julian Brandt, as you put in the title, it's 1 or 2 reports saying £20 million basic fee agreed. I'm not too sure that's 100% true, because I think it's very early stages at the moment, but it does look like Arsenal are in for Julian Brandt, and reports coming out that the Hurriyet deal is dead in the water now. It's not something we'd look at. When I look on it with Hurriyet, I think he's a bit overpriced for what he is and the league he's playing in, because if you think about it, people who say Hurriyet is this and that and this and that, they've only seen him in 2-3 Champions League games. No one watches the French league, so I think that's something you have to keep in mind. But I think Julian Brandt, he's someone, again, any player is a risk, because you don't know if they're going to light it up. Bruno, people are talking about, let's do that Bruno Fernandes sort of thing. It's going to be difficult, because you don't know which player would come in, how they would perform. Would they give us good performances, bad performances? You don't know, do you?
Yeah, it's true. So, how about Buendia? Before I let you go, what do you think about Buendia? Is he that kind of player that would spark instant life in us?
I'm unsure of Buendia as well. It's £15 million. So if we have the opportunity to do it, I would do it. But if you look at some of his stats in the championship, he's created the most chances out of any other player. So that's a good thing because we need players who can create chances for the likes of Aubameyang. Because you saw those pictures from the match against Brighton. Xhaka could have played through an easy pass to Aubameyang. There's another chance where Bellerin could have played him through. We need players who will look for the passes, will create the chances, so Aubameyang can score more goals. So it doesn't look like he's not doing anything. Because if Aubameyang takes one or two of those chances, suddenly you're talking about him having a brilliant game. You know what I mean? And Buendia, what worries one thing about him when Norwich did get relegated? Watford got raided. Jamal Lewis was taken off Norwich, but no one wants Buendia. We're the only club linked to him. So is he that highly valued? Will he offer us again? It's a risk. It's such a risk. Any player we sign is going to be a risk, and in the January transfer window, we don't have a lot of options because clubs don't want to sell. Because clubs want to keep a hold of it, especially the big clubs. They want to keep hold of their main players. They don't want to let people go. That it's going to be hard to do because everyone's out here thinking we're going to do a lot of business. We're going to do this, we're going to that, we're going to overhaul our squad. It's very difficult to do business in January, and you have to understand that. And any business would do, we'll have to see and whether it works.
Okay. Let me just get in another caller. Thank you so much, AJ brother. Okay. Sebastian, how are you doing, brother? What do you want to say?
I'm very well, thank you. I just want to say we need to take up players before we start buying players. Like we have Maitland-Niles, who's an amazing young right back, and people don't like to talk about him. But when we watch the matches, Bellerin is rubbish. Like he lost his touch. I'm being serious. Like
I do understand.
Guy yesterday, that kid that was playing yesterday, he was beating him in headers. He was running past him. He was putting Holding and Mari in bad positions. So for me, if Barcelona, if it's true and they're asking for 20 or 25 million for Bellerin, I will let him go. Because we got Cedric and we got they want to get Lamptey. I'm not sure about that. And we got Maitland-Niles, so I don't mind. We can take him out. We could take out Sokratis, fine. David Luiz and Willian, there's too many problems with them in the locker room, so I would like them to leave. And because we have many like Mari, Holding, Saliba, I don't understand the problem with Saliba. He's a great young centre back, and Arteta doesn't play him. Everyone knows that Saliba and Gabriel would be one of the best young centre back duos in the Premier League, hands down. So I don't really want him to go because you see that his lawyer has been talking to Arteta, the main guys, that he may be leaving. If he does go, I want to be very upset. So I would like Arsenal to let go of some players before we start buying anyone soon.
Yeah, and you're just in the right thinking, mind of Stan Kroenke, because he has also said it that if we have to bring in players, then we have to sell fast. And it's quite logical. We have 2 players that are left out of the squad. If you add another 2, that means you have 4 players left out of the squad. If you add another 2, that means it is 6. So we have to move on some players, but it's not going to be easy to move on players. That, Sebastian. It's not going to be so easy, especially in January. Most of the players we can move on is in the summer, when we can actually let them go on a free transfer, the Kolasinacs and the others. So do you suggest that we do not bring in players in January because we can't move on players?
Yeah. Well, because as the guy said before, Kroenke won't let anyone come in unless you let people go. That's why I'm being very hands down, because I want to get that Brighton midfielder. He was amazing yesterday, and I've been watching his highlights and listening to you, and then I started seeing reports about him. If we get him and Partey, and Smith Rowe has been very well, so he could be like our Cam. He goes up and down. He's very good. So if we have those 3 in the midfield, I'd be very pleased. That's why I want to get him more than I don't want to get Isco. I don't mind getting him on loan, but we don't need him. He'll just be like another Ceballos coming off the bench. I don't want to get no Diego Costa. We got Nketiah and Balogun. Even though Nketiah only scores tapping, that's it. But we don't need players like that. They're old. Because as soon as they come in, they're going to be like Willian. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we got Willian for free. yeah, we got Willian. Yeah, watch. Now look at him. He hasn't done anything for us. Yeah. So I wouldn't like them to come in. I just want someone that we can trust in and play him after 1 week of him coming to the team. So I would like Bissouma to come to Arsenal.
Okay. Big up Glenn, big up Christopher. He says because we don't need Costa for what? Sel Bellerin, Cedric, Papa, Mustafi, El Neni, Chamberlain, Louis Kolasinac, Ozil, Eddie, Daka. Jesus Christ, the list is so endless. Then Philip says, let's go get Emi Buendia. Big up Sebastian. Thank you for calling in. Let me have, I say, Dinero, how are you doing, brother? Are you there?
I didn't realize my mic was
It's okay.
muted.
It's okay. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm fine here. What do you have to say about those? I mean, I know I've just said a few of the transfer rumors. You must have had more. So what do you say about the situation around transfers as we enter the last 2 days to open the January transfer window?
Underwhelming, really. Not really exciting. Apart from man like Buendia, I think my guy is a baller. He's one of those players that he can play on the right, but he also can play at cam.
Yeah.
And he could, he's good on the ball. He can dribble. Like, he's got so much to his game. He's also been doing good at the championship, but in terms of like the eye test, he's a baller. My top signing would be Buendia for sure.
Buendia, you would go for Buendia over Isco?
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%, bro. I think Buendia just got so much to his game. He's younger. Buendia will be it's a no-brainer, bro.
Okay. Buendia is a no-brainer. Look, if you have a chance to sign Buendia and another player, who would it be? Many people are talking about Bissouma. I don't think that deal is possible in January. So who do you think could be the second player we go? But because I don't think one person like this will solve the problems we have right now. We need some like 2 signings.
Oh, do you know what? If, for example, I would have gone for someone similar to Bissouma. I would have went for man like Bakary Samare. I think he is a top signing that we can make to partner up with Partey. He's like a young. He's like in the mix of a young Pogba, but he's also got like defensive to his game. I'll go with him, and I'll go with Aouar. I think Aouar is just a classy baller. I'll go with them 3.
All right. Big up, Dinero. Thank you so much for calling in. Let us hear from Ahmed. Ahmed, how are you doing?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Yeah, so what I think Arsenal are missing right now is some creativity. So if they can get like a really good midfielder, like right now, they will be like such a good team. I feel like they'll even challenge for top 4 in like next season maybe. Because right now, I feel like teams like Brighton yesterday, you beat them only 1-0, like you barely beat them. I feel like with some creativity like that, you can beat teams like with much more margins. Like look at Liverpool, they have so much creativity. Why do you think they beat Newcastle?
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. What was it?
7-0. Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the creativity, and like I think Arsenal, if they can get like someone who's like very creative, like someone like Aouar maybe, but he would need some time to adapt because League One is very different to the Premier League. But the team just if they can get someone creative, they'll be scoring way more goals, and the team will be much better.
Would you recommend someone like Jorginho Wijnaldum or Isco? Do you think he fits the problems we have at the moment?
I think Wijnaldum, he would fit in the team, but not Jorginho. I think Jorginho lacks pace. But Wijnaldum's like, I think he's an all-rounder and he's a complete central midfielder.
Yeah.
And I think, would you take Stones at the back with Gabriel?
No, I wouldn't take Stones. I would rather take Garcia.
Yeah, because Stones does make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, I don't really rate Stones, by the way.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Who do you think you should get?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, I've always been, this guy. I think Arsenal go out in January, look out for someone like Buendia, number 10, and then you look out for someone who can play with Thomas Partey, in that, deep in the midfield. Whoever we can get, whether it's a loan deal for Isco, whoever, that guy who can, drive, the ball across the midfield, pass it around, and then give it to Emi Buendia and then create the chances. That's what I wanted. That is the ideal January I wanted. But I understand you're a Manchester City fan, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the way Pep has set you up, you almost run. When David Silva went away, you guys had a couple of issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
If don't you think Isco would actually be a better signing for City? Because for me, I see him as another David Silva.
Maybe, but I feel like he's getting old now, and
yeah, he's 28.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like someone like him, maybe for a solid 2 seasons, maybe he'll do good at Man City, but it'll take some time to adapt. But yeah, I think someone like him would be good because we did miss some goals and we lacked creativity after David Silva left.
Yeah.
And Kevin De Bruyne right now, he's struggling to get his goals this season.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, just as I let you go, who do you think City need in January? Who do you think you guys need? What do you need in January?
I think we have a strong team in terms of like attacking. We have a very good team, and we do have a very good potential like star for the future. We have Foden, he's doing bits. I think we have a good team, but I think we need a left back because right now Mendy is not. We need someone who can really like move up the kind of help the attack in some way, like Telles. But of course, Telles is not going to be able to join us as he just joined Man United. But someone like him, basically, because we do play Cancelo at left back sometimes, but I feel like he needs to stay in his natural position, but he won't get game time over Kyle Walker, and that's understandable. But yeah, I think a left back would be good for January.
Okay, thank you so much, Ahmed. There, I want to listen from Kohan Morgan. Before I do that, Relentless says we should go for Naby Keita. Look, Keita has been linked with this Arsenal move before. Yeah, I think was it last week. But the fact is, his role and job at Liverpool seems a little bit finished. But I don't see Liverpool again go for a partner, or I don't see them giving a rival such a tool, because Keita could be a weapon of mass destruction. The problem is he didn't click at Liverpool, and I do not know why he didn't click, but he's still a dangerous player. But for me, I would take him. Trust me, Nathan, I would really do take him at Arsenal. Arsenal need players like Bissouma, Brandit, Vinicius Jr., Isco on loan, Konate, and Edward from Celtic. Big up, Victor. Comment got. Kohan Morgan, how are you doing, my brother?
Hello, my brother. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you, my brother? How's Christmas? How's your preparations for Eve of New Year?
We have already started preparing. For me, my New Year is seeing Arsenal get better. If we can, get in those players that we need, we get better. That is it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I also want the best thing for Arsenal right now.
What do you think about this January transfer window? Who are you? What are you looking at? Who are your players you want Arsenal to sign?
First of all, I prefer a formation that Arsenal should use, like 4-2-3-1. What Arteta is using right now is a really good formation. But in order for us to fit in Bissouma, in order for us to fit in Awa and Buendia, we can use his 4-2-3-1 formation. Bissouma, we know about him. He's so good defensively, attackingly. He can get the ball. He controls the tempo of the game. He has an attacking flair in him. And why not we take Bissouma? He is Premier League experienced, Premier League proven. So if Bissouma teams up with Thomas Partey in the defensive midfield area instead of Elneny and Xhaka, I agree with you, my brother. They are Banter FC. They are crazily poor according to statistics. But if Bissouma team up with Thomas Partey, and then when we have the three attacking midfield, you see Awa in the left, Smith Rowe in the middle, and Buendia in the right. And you just see Aubameyang in the centre forward. Do you know how impactful will our club be? It's amazing, man, thinking about it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, hmm.
yeah, man, can go on, man.
You see, I want to be. I want to ask you this as an Arsenal fan. You know much about Arsenal. You've been supporting Arsenal, as long as you started. Do you see this, this transfer window as one that is actually going to make things happen, or is it another, window that we are going to speak much and do less?
Okay, so under Unai Emery, under Arsene Wenger during his early years of taking over Arsenal, he did make a great transfer window. But during his end of his years in Arsenal, he did quite blunder a little bit because he made very poor signings like Granit Xhaka, Shkodran Mustafi. He spent like 90 million on them unnecessarily because that time Wenger didn't have a vision at the time during his 10 years with his club. What he had was trying to finish the debt of our stadium debt. He wanted to make sure that the stadium debt doesn't, he wants to cover the whole debt. So for that, he wants to quickly buy cheap players, hoping for a new resale value. So that was during Wenger's time. During Unai Emery's time, he was confused with what Wenger did. He was trying to make things right, but it just couldn't work out for him. He, I would say, he didn't get backing from the fan base. Well, I agree from the fan base. Unai Emery was a weak manager. He didn't have a vision clearly. But once Arteta came in, he knew what to do. He knew he was inspired by top managers like Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola. He was inspired by that, man. If you look at our summer signings, it was top signings. We didn't sign like how Man United signed players. Man United signed players for satisfactory. They want to satisfy the fans. But we signed players using our tactical approach towards where we want to be at in the next 3 or 4 years. We have a vision, man. Look at our new signings. Gabriel Magalhaes, Thomas Partey, and just imagine Gabriel Magalhaes with William Saliba. We have a defensive duo that is unbreakable, man.
Yeah, I do understand. Big up Kohan there. I have a Brighton fan on here. Brighton. And of course, I know the reason as to why you're here is basically Yves Bissouma. How are you doing? Sure.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to hear from you why what you want to say. Then we can discuss.
I want to talk about the game yesterday. I'm very disappointed that we couldn't get a point because I thought a point was a fair result yesterday because we had Bissouma who seemed to be dominating midfield over Xhaka and El Nene. I just think that we lack that sort of end product that the whole season. That's why we're in a relegation scrap this season because all the chances that we get, we don't really score. And once we score a chance, we go and concede. As like against West Ham, we scored 2 goals, and then and then West Ham scored another 2.
Yeah.
So
Surely, I think your problem this season is getting the goals, but you also do not have, you don't take your chances and you barely create enough. Yesterday against Arsenal in the first half, you should have buried that game. It should have been 3-0. I mean, it should have been, 3-0 or around 2-0, but the chances, you need to create more clear-cut chances. And, let me ask, why did Neil Mopi start on the bench?
I was just about to say that. You have to question the manager because Graham Potter, he built a starting 11 against an Arsenal team who just beaten Chelsea 3-1.
Yeah.
And he's not even playing one striker. We had a whole attack with only wingers. So that's what got me confused. And I was like, I'm not gonna judge right now because maybe he's got some tactics maybe this tactical work. Then after we don't score a goal, and now he's got to be asked some serious questions. Personally, right now, I would have taken Sam Allardyce, Sam Allardyce as the manager, or Tony Pulis. I would have taken him because right now, I can see us being on like we're on such a bad run of form. We're on the same run of form as you guys were on the last couple games. We're on the exact same run. And I remember 2 games ago, we were only like a point behind you. And now you're like 7 points clear.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
And the problem I see with Brighton, the quality in your team it's unbelievable that you are fighting not to go back. With Fulham, with West Brom and Sheffield, I think you shouldn't be in that relegation battle. You see, you have a couple of quality players in there. You have Bissouma, you have Mope, you have Solimash, you have a couple of actually talented players.
Trossard, Lamptey as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the manager needs to set up, either his tactics or set up the team in the right way to start winning games. But I don't think Brighton should be in that, relegation battle.
Yeah, I think we should be like 13th, 12th with the team we have. And all as Brighton fans we can hope for in January is that we don't let go of Bissouma, because I heard that Arsenal are literally trying to steal Brighton's players. They're trying to steal Lamptey. They're trying to steal Bissouma. And I just hope that doesn't happen, because they're our only hopes, really. And Lamptey, he's such a good and up-and-coming prospect, and I have a feeling he can be one of the best right-backs in the league. He could. And Bissouma as well, he plays a lot like Thomas Partey. Bissouma, obviously Thomas Partey's the better player, but I had a feeling Bissouma and Partey together would be really good, which is reasonable why Arsenal want to sign him. But one thing I need to point out is that goalkeeper yesterday, Robert Sanchez, our goalkeeper, he's a pretty good goalkeeper. He saved the Aubameyang shot from 4 yards out. Yeah, he's a top quality goalkeeper.
Yeah,
and we have a really good team. Just terrible manager.
Actually, I was in love with that save. I was fuming with the Aubameyang, but then I had to appreciate the quality and the tenacity of that goalkeeper. You stand in. You don't get afraid. You don't give up, even if it's 4 yards away. It was a decent save. I would have given him my man of the match. I think if he had made a couple of more saves, he had saved that penalty. I would have given him my man of the match. Not penalty, anyway. That Alexander Lacazette shot. But do you think Bissouma could be? Do you think you guys could let go of Bissouma or Lamptey in January? I don't see that happen. I think if deals are going to be made, they might be made in the summer. Do you think you guys could be forced to sell any of them? Probably financial issues, or do you think?
Yeah, hates me to say it, but yeah, I do think Bissouma. I think we're gonna have to by force have to sell Bissouma, because I have a feeling financially we're not going to be as strong, because now usually we stay in the Premier League and we get loads of funds for us staying up. If we get relegated, we're going to be in such a big financial crisis, and I think we're going to be forced to sell the players like Bissouma. And what I don't get is that we signed a great striker in Welbeck, he's not that good technically, but he's a player that can score goals if you need a goal. He's a player that if you're losing 1-0 or by 1 goal, you can sub him on and stuff.
Yeah. So thanks everybody. Those have been the calls, and of course, make no mistake, you can always call in. I'll be sharing those links. Call in 1 caller per time. It will not be this, but there are times when I'll need a panel, and I'll put you guys in a pattern to discuss the issues. So make no mistake, this is the Arsenal podcast where you guys have all the time and space to discuss your matters. Kuan Morgan says, just imagine a Bissouma Partey duo. I don't want to imagine. That guy, Yves Bissouma, if we can put him with Thomas Partey and just put someone, even if it is Emily Smith-Rowe in front of them, we are good to go. Mope and Bissouma, those are good. That's really, a good combination. If we could actually get them in, Bino comes in as a trying to run.
How are you doing?
Yes, brother. How are you doing?
Fine, man.
First, tell me your reaction about the transfer rumors, because I think they're spreading up so widely, because the transfers are about to get open. So I do understand. What are your thoughts on this January transfer window?
Yeah, we all expect to get at least 2 creative midfielders, because just buying one is not enough. Because if you at least buy 2 of them, if one flops, another one can at least survive them. So that's why we need at least 2 creative midfielders. Just signing one player won't change the whole dynamic. So like we need these two creative midfielders. I don't know whether Brand will come. I'm not sure like whether Brand wants to come here. Maybe for game time and wages he can come, but I'm not sure because I don't think Dortmund sell these players on January. The last time I think they sold was Aubameyang to us only.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Actually, I talked about and they said Dortmund rarely sell their players in January. They rarely do.
Yeah, that's what. And Aubameyang, we got Aubameyang because there was been dispute between this Dortmund and him issues. There was some management issues with him. That's the only reason we got him.
Yeah.
And due to his wages, so I'm not sure like whether we'll get Dortmund players from January. I don't think many of the clubs will sell the players in January. January is only for the loan deals, and maybe Isco is the only realistic in my opinion. Maybe and Emi Buendia because like he's from the championship, so we can buy players from the championship like that. So that's it.
The talks around town are that we have agreed a price with Dortmund for Brandit, and we are also opening talks. We have opened talks actually, according to the Telegraph, for the man himself, Isco. Would that be a perfect January transfer window for you?
Isco and Brandt. Yeah, in my opinion, it's okay. At least decent because like we can at least we can get either use of one of them. If Isco is just for 6 months, so like I'm not expecting too much from him. And like for Brandt, like if we are getting him, like I want him to be a good player. Yeah, he's a good player. Like when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, like he mostly played at left wing because Havertz was there. Havertz was playing as an attacking midfielder as Bayer, and then Dortmund bought him. Then he doesn't have any role to play there. And I'm not sure because like they have just sacked their manager Dortmund. So like if another manager comes and if he gets the chance, then I don't think he will come to us.
Okay, so if you
is the reports true? Like we have agreed the deal with Brandt.
I mean, there are reports just like any other reports, so I cannot really say they're true unless I get it from a David Onstein or unless I get it from a Christian Falk, because I trust Christian Falk more when it comes to German football. So probably, yeah, if I see it from a Christian Falk, then I'll confirm. But for now, I think there are still stories that lingering around.
And I think like if you're buying a creative midfielder, I think next to Partey we need one more midfielder, like for holding midfielder.
Bissouma?
Bissouma, yeah, as I said, but I don't think Brighton will sell him in January.
Exactly.
Because they had to save their season. So like they can't be relegated. So like, and I don't think they will get relegated. They will just escape from the relegation. Maybe in 15th, 16th, maybe. I don't think they will get relegated. But like, but due to their performance, like I'm kind of doubt though. But if they are getting relegated, then we can get for easy money, cheap money. Like we can get for like 25. If they stay up, then they will ask for more price. Maybe like 30 to 40.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Bino. Thanks everybody who has been on the show. I mean, much love. I do appreciate. Let me just get this from Relentless, who didn't call in today. I don't know why. Bissouma needs to relax with the phone. Yeah, by the way, you know, the yellow cards, the yellow cards. But I think you put him against a player like Thomas Partey, he's going to learn a lot from him, probably. You know, right now at Brighton, he is the man. If he comes at us, no, trust me, he's not going to be the man. He's going to be a second in command to Thomas Partey. So I think he can learn a lot from Thomas Partey, and Mikel Arteta probably could mentor him, or any manager, us, no, not Mikel Arteta, you know, necessarily. But there has been a wonderful show, and I would want to call it a day. Come on, you Gunners, have a blessed evening. I'll be back with more of your transfers and news around Arsenal at exactly 9:30 p.m. UK time. That is 7:30 p.m. I think.